ready for this? The opening. Put that over, put all the trash in. Alright, so first thing we gotta do is find all the instructions. Which are right here. So inside the instructions, we got important, do not return to the store. And we got Pit Boss energize your grill. I don't know if you want that or not. No, we can throw it in the trash. Then you got your instruction manual and your Pit Boss Navigator booklet. All right, there's a lot of parts. I believe this is the instruction manual here. So there's your diagram. So basically, the number one's going to be securing the feet to the support legs. So I'm going to break down everything in here and then we'll start on the instructions. So none of the legs are marked, but one of them has the Pit Boss in it. So we're pretty sure we got the right legs here, and then those are the other legs. And then we got to take these plates and put them on there. So the other legs, these have the plates, the other legs do not. So that's an easy way to know which ones you need. And then we got to use the D screws, which are these ones, to screw them in. And then we'll continue on to the next step. Right now we're working on step one. All right, so these are the foot plates, and you just screw them on like this. Three screws in each one. So you do that, and I'm gonna get that all done because I don't want to make the video 3 hours long for you folks. So that's your first step. Find the plates and put them on. Alright folks, the first thing I just noticed about this leg is that during manufacturing, the screw holes, they aren't lined up quite like they're supposed to, so the screws go in sort of at an angle. So don't sweat on it all day, just put them in the way they gave it to you and they hold tight. So just wanted to tell you that. Alright, moving on to step two. You need the long bracket and the short bracket. Short brackets come in the little box, and then if you open it up, that's what it should look like when you're done, but you open it up, you got your grill plates, and then inside is your long brackets. So if you're searching for them, look inside. So we got the long brackets now. So now what we got to do is we got to take the two legs, we got to put in the short bracket and the long bracket. So let me do that. Alright, so now you got your short plate, which that's the long plate. They got two screw holes on the side. According to the picture, the round shape should be pointing up. And then you're going to put your screw through. Oh, magnetic. That's even better. Pretty much just goes through and into the hole. Make sure you get your other one lined up. Just like so. If they marked the legs like they said they would, it made it a lot easier. That's all I got to say about that. But anyways, so now we're going to continue on. To step 3, securing the support plates and the wheels. So now we got to build the other side and then put all the wheels on and put all that together. Alright, so let's do that. Alright, so now we got to put the wheels on, and it shows us going on like this. And the wheel goes on the outside. Goes through like that. Oh, your washer goes on the inside. If I look at that correctly. Nope. I'm seeing that ridge. See that ridge? I'm gonna show it on the camera. But that ridge right there, that's why on the picture it looks like the washer. The washer is actually on this side. And then you put your cotter pin in, which is bent. You can't ever get anything. See if I can get it through underneath. I guess that's just the way they're made, but it looks like it's bent. They got the wheels are better than the whole thing, I think. You could use those to make your kids a skateboard or something. Just like that, and then the wheels are on. And then we'll go on to the next step. Alright, so the next piece is these little things. I've already got them started. You need your 2 screws. They go in there, you tighten those down, and then you take the other half and you do the same thing with that. And that makes the base plate, and then you pick the whole thing up, which will be the next step. So I'm going to tighten these down, and then we'll move on to the next step, and I'll get that recorded for you. Alright guys, so now you can put your screws in here. So in the instructions it says it's a 2-person project, but I'm going to just put you here because we've got to have both of us to do this. And line up your screw holes. Should be a better way to do this. There we go. Alright, just like that. 2 screws go there, 2 screws go there, puts the 2 sides together. And then I'm going to do the same on that side, and then we'll move over to putting on the chamber. Alright folks, so after you get the base done, you set this up here. Then you got screws with washers and lock washers that you got to put in, which I've already been doing. And I forgot to record. But and then after that, we got to set up all the grates, put the handles on, and then we're going to vacuum it out to get all the little pieces of styrofoam out because you don't want that cooking in there. But yeah, so we get all these screws in, and then we're getting closer and closer to firing it up. Sweet. So I hope you guys are enjoying, and I'm going to get the rest of these screws in, and then we'll put the handles on and the shelf on the front, and then we'll give her a try. Alright folks, so you put in the bottom plate, then this plate comes in, it has two little notches right there. You just line those up, and then that sits on there like that. Then there's going to be a handle that goes through so you can control direct flame and smoke, I believe. So now we put this handle through this little hole, I think. Doesn't fit. I'll go see this one. One way or the other. It's gotta go. Alright, gotta figure it out. Be right back. Slide it in a little bit further. And it locks into there. Hold that camera for me, please. Just like that. So you can go. It's weird, it's got holes in here though. That's how it goes. That's pretty simple. So you want more heat, you can do that. You want less heat, you can do that. Cool. All right, now we gotta get the shelves on and put the temperature probe in. So fun. All right, folks. So after that, you get your handle on, your lid stop, put your sides on, which they screw in right in here. You can put on these two little brackets, which is for your shelf. And this shelf also comes off. And you can go down here if you want it there, which we opted to put it up here and leave it hanging. Then you got your probe, which plugs in here. You run it through that hole and stick it in your meat while it's cooking. We're gonna fire it up here in a little bit. Let it burn off everything inside and run for a bit and get itself going and working properly. And then we're gonna make some food. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in a little bit. All right, now we got it on. It says hold the prime button. Until you see pellets come out. All right, now it is turning. That button until you see them start to drop out. It's heating up, the smoke's starting to come out. Alright, so I gotta hold this button until they start coming out and then I'll be back. Alright folks, so you can start to see the pellets coming out. I think we gotta get it full up to that probe. Takes a minute, so you just gotta have patience. So once you get that full up to that probe, then it should ignite. Then I'll put all the guts back in real quick. So let me get that done, and then we'll go on to the next. Now it's off. Alright, so once you get the pellets down into there, you turn it all off, you install everything back inside, and then you fire it up like normal. So I gotta put everything in, and then I'll return. And so basically you have to hold the prime button until you get some showing in there and some in the tube, and then you return everything back to normal, and then we'll fire it up as we would normally. So let's do it. Everything returned. You leave it on smoke, and now it's dropping the pellets in on its own, and eventually it should ignite, and then we gotta let it cook until the smoke dissipates. It says until the heavy white smoke dissipates. It's obviously a smoker, but and then once that happens, you're ready to cook. And it's got to be, you got to cook it in for 45 to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, to make sure you burn off all the oil they use to lube everything. So we're just gonna let this go, and when it starts to smoke, I'll show you guys, and then we're gonna get ready to cook once that's done. So basically the proper procedure: make sure everything's running first, shut it off, put your pellets in, then put it on the smoke feature down here, put it on smoke, and then hit the prime button until all the pellets start going in, and shut it back down. Turn this to smoke, then turn it back on once you get pellets in here, and they're coming into there, and then just let it run on its own. And I can start to smell it. You'll start to feel heat. They said you're starting to feel a little heat. So as long as you follow the manual, you'll be all right. So far, looks like it's going to be a pretty good little smoker. And it comes with your probe, so you can test your food and everything. My Z-Grill does not have that. That's pretty awesome. So we'll be back here in a little bit. We got flame in there. Awesome. So what I'm going to do, now that the heavy smoke's gone, I'm going to close this to heat up this whole plate. Burn that all in. You can see the smoke coming off of it. It's all the oils and stuff that they put on it. And we're going to let this cook. It has to cook itself in for an hour. So, like I said, once you get it, you can see the flame in there. I'm going to close this to let all that burn off. Close this. And we're going to let it burn. Alright, so we've used that many pellets. It was up to the level with the top rack here. And we started at 12:30, and right now it's 2:30. I got that corned beef in there. It's at 138 according to the probe. It's at 240 right now. It goes up and then it drops back down to around 225. It's been staying pretty much in that area. And that's what she looks like. We got some pork loins in there now. And there's the corned beef. Alright, so we're going to trust the process, and we'll let you know at the end when it's done, and then we'll try it, and that'll be my video about the Pit Boss. It's a pretty good smoker. So the internal temperature just hit 165 while it's bouncing a bit. So I took it out, I wrapped it, put a little bit more barbecue sauce on that tenderloin, and the lemon pepper is just doing its thing. So now we're going to let it get to 200, and by then everything should be done. Awesome. And then we can eat. Alright, the smoker is done. That is the finished product. And now we're going to eat. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you at the next one. Woo! Peace.